And we are officially live. Hello to all you BC Wrestle Pod nerds out there. Welcome back to the NXT Losos, the sexiest NXT review show out there on the internet. My name is Mikey, and as always, I am joined by my good friend, my day one, the person that I cannot do this show without because I love him very dearly, is the Pleat Father himself, also known as El Blanquito, moving forward, thanks to our AAA show from yesterday.
Yeah, I just got lazy. Didn't feel like freaking changing that. I was like, yeah, I'm going to leave that there. I am El Blanquito, El Padre de Plite. I don't know how to say the word plite in Spanish, but I will figure it out.
We will figure it out. And we are here for another exciting post show about NXT, specifically the Tuesday, June 9th edition of the show. Lots of things happening. We got two new number one contenders. We have a new champion to talk about as well. And so before we get into the show, really quickly, we pretty much stream a good chunk of the week, and you can pick your favorite streaming site to see us, live, or you can check out our main YouTube channel for the edited video if you just want to fast forward through to important bits. We also have social medias at BC Wrestle Pod. You can pick whatever site you use the most, and you'll see our report cards and other fun stuff like that. On top of that, we also have merch available at our shop, bcwrestlepodshop.fourthwall.com. And last but certainly not least, we have a coffee bot that's going to help us pay for these pay-per-views over the summer. So July especially is going to be a real tight budget month for us, y'all. But we're going to do it. We're going to make it. And I got plans in the works. We're going to do this. Because your boy doesn't get paid in July. That's what happens when you don't have contract a 12-month contract when you teach.
And with that note, folks, please support your teachers, for they struggle very much. Look at Mikey.
I know my light just went out.
Wait, you're over here. I thought I saw a flash. I was like, wait a second.
My light just went out as you were saying that. It is hilarious and it's on brand for us, honestly. But if you feel inclined to donate, the coffee bot will be in the Twitch and the YouTube chat, but there is also no obligation to do so, as we know that times are tough for everybody out here. And your engagement is the next best thing, honestly. And you being here is enough. Alrighty, let's get into this because we do have a lot to talk about. We are 3 weeks out from NXT's next PLE, NXT's Great American Bash, which is set to be. There's just way too much wrestling going on on that particular Sunday because there's like 4 pay-per-views, and I'm just like, good lord.
Here's what's funny. The Great American Bash is not a pay-per-view. It is a PLE. It is on the CW network. And from what I am basically understanding, it's going to be at the PC again.
Mm-hmm. It's still a PLE in my personal opinion.
No, it is. It's at the PC.
Right.
Because there's no tickets being sold. Every time I look at any of the banner, it says Orlando. So that means that they're not doing it anywhere else outside of the PC. So I'm hype because that means if I can get back into that, your boy's going.
He will be. El Blanquito will be in the building once again as he was for Vengeance Day earlier this year.
Oh my god, that was so much fun. Vengeance Day was great. Okay, going to a show is amazing for NXT. It's a great crowd. It's small. It's very intimate. One of the things I like to joke about with one of my local wrestling creators, his name is Fatherless because he doesn't have a dad. That's his tagline. I'm just gonna keep going. And I love the guy. He's great. He always yells at me for some reason. It's like every time I look at his content, he's always yelling. Anyway, I try to pick him out every time that I'm watching NXT and I'm not in person. I'm like, hey, where's Father? Where's that hat? Where's that? There it is. He's usually like right front center at the top of the ring on the left side of the ring at the corner because it's the crowd kind of goes like this. You got the entrance that comes out like this. Trying to get in the mid, trying to be nice to the vertical people. There we go. So it comes out like this, and then it kind of goes off at a weird, like 45-degree angle, and then it comes out, and then it wraps around. It's a really good. There's rarely ever bad seat at NXT. I think the worst seats are where they put the handicap people. That might be the worst seats, only because sometimes they are because they're seated on the floor basically.
Mm-hmm.
So there might be like some weird angles that they can't see. Sometimes I don't know. I never get the opportunity to go over that area. The closest I get is either on that long wall right there at the entrance or right behind Booker T.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally been my dichotomy. It's like that section area. That's great. I love it. It's fun. I can't wait to go again. I'm excited. I signed up to go on to next Tuesday, so we shall see.
We shall see. And with that, let's finally get into the show. Alrighty, so we kick things off this week with NXT with this flipping match. Lord
This
Almighty,
flipping match. I'm upset that I didn't get to see this in person.
oh
I
my
missed
God, this
Fraxium 2 weeks in a row.
my goodness, this match is already television, like in the contention to be TV matches of the year. Lord Almighty, these four went at it, and it was, oh man, what a great match! Holy crap! So of course you have Fraxium. You have Nathan Frazier and Axiom taking on the team of Romeo Moreno and Noam Dar. Lord, this is just great. This is great European fast-paced tag team action because they all have history with each other in the European scene. My God, what a treat. No notes.
0 notes. Great back and forth. I loved it. I think this. Oh, I spilled some water. This was actually a really good match that I absolutely adored. I want to watch it again.
Oh, 100%. This was fantastic. Again, I don't have too much. This was definitely easily my match of the entire night, and I'm like, why I got to start out the show though? But
Well, I
man,
had to set the tone, so
that is very true. But this was fantastic, and I will say this for a good chunk of the matches this evening, there was some great in-ring action between everybody involved, which I really enjoyed, which is not rare for NXT, but like almost every match hit except for one. What it sets up what the story we're telling specifically with Saquon Sugars, and we're gonna get to that when we get to there a little bit later in the show. But Fraxium win, hot opening match, hot damn, easily one of my favorite matches in NXT so far this year. And yeah, we are going to see if this still ends up being my favorite match of NXT for the year as we continue on. But great stuff. After this match, though, we get into our first of many backstage segments. There was a lot of pre-tapes and backstage segments this episode. So we gonna try to do our best. So Ren Sinclair is here with her bestie, Kendall Gray, and Ren wants to get started with this Wibbits Speed Championship tournament to see who she will face next. And then Lola Vice comes in, our NXT Women's Champion and one half of the AAA Mixed Tag Team Champions, which prompts Ren to leave because she knows that Kendall and Lola got some stuff to talk about. Lola says that she is rooting for Kendall and she hopes that she takes care of Kalani Jordan later on in their match, and that what happened last week she didn't mean for it to happen. And Kendall Gray tells Lola to save it because she's not interested in hearing it, and she will see her at the Great American Bash. So Kendall got a little bit of some spiciness to her after getting back fit handed by Lola accidentally last week, and I'm like, okay. Be like, Kendall's got that motivation to head into her match a little bit later in the show. So I'm like, all right, let's see how this turns out and who ends up becoming number one contendership. Spoiler alert, it's Kendall Gray, but we'll talk about like the play by play in the match a little bit later when we get there. Yes, which is, well, first let's talk about this though. This is part one of this NXT, Mr. NXT. So I gotta set the scene because this is insane. I try to put these in the places if I remember. Again, I was also watching this late at night and doing lots of other things. So my order of things might be different. But really quickly, we need to introduce our judging panel for the Mr. NXT pageant. Of course, this involves comedian Matt Wilson, I believe is his last name. I forgot.
I think it's like, I think it's like Matt Wilson or Mike Wilson, something like that.
I
He's
know it's Matt Wilson. I know it's Matt. I don't know if his last name is Wilson. But anyways, we got comedian Matt Wilson, SmackDown superstar extraordinaire Kit Wilson, and of course our WWE Evolve champion Aaron Rourke. Love Aaron. He's fantastic. Love him. He's great.
I loved Aaron and I loved Kit. I thought bringing Kit in for this was just perfect. The only thing that you could have done was replace the Matt
Comedian.
Mike, whatever the comedian, is if they brought back Rico.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. I don't know if WWE would ever bring him
No,
back.
They won't.
Especially since Rico did a quick appearance for AEW, so that may have blacklisted him from WWE, which is petty, but whatever.
That's fucking dumb.
Oh my gosh. Sidebar.
Go ahead.
Sidebar. If y'all haven't seen Rico's interview with Chris Van Vliet, it is awesome and insightful. As always.
That was my next step. That was literally where I was going.
Chris Van Vliet's interviews are always great, but the one with Rico is great. And Rico, I love you even more now. It's just like, yeah, he wants to continue to wrestle and he's open to whoever wants to get him on there. I'm like, yes, Rico, we love you.
He was phenomenal. I think that would be if he's ready, if they brought him back, this would have been a perfect opportunity. But having Kit there, it was like icing on the cake. It was perfect. And I like how this segment and the next one for it, it's all done in front of like the rest of the locker room.
Watching everybody's reactions, it was hilarious.
One of my favorite reactions is Thea Hale and Wilhelm, because they're dating. She's like excited about it. He kind of just glances at her. It's like, sorry. I'm like,
Also, Hank and Tank were a hoot throughout this whole thing too.
Dude, Hank and Tank, honk. Like, give me more of them.
We love our belly bandits.
Oh, the belly. Like, okay, so when it was last week, I think, when they were doing they were doing something. They were in the background of a segment. And I think it was Miss Parker and someone else. They were talking shit, and they were like, "Y'all ladies got some problems."
Yeah, it was
to each other.
It was between Jada and then Callie Armstrong too, because Callie told Jada, "It's like, girl, you scared? Like, you ain't gonna fight Natty?" Like. Oh, but
yes, she did.
We're wrong. We will talk about that when we get there. But to wrap this segment up, part one of the Mr. NXT pageant. First one was like the fashion, portion in which the judges went in favor of Tristan Angels. And then we will talk about part two here in a little bit. But right now, we get into our second match of the evening. This is the first of two number one contenders matches. This is for the NXT Championship number one contender spot. And this sees, of course, Naraku taking on He's Big, He's Bad, and He Will Body Slam Your Dad, Mason Rook. I will say, I didn't know how these two styles were going to interact. I really enjoyed this. And this was a lot of fun for sure. I think definitely these two are going to be surrounding the NXT title picture scene over the summer. Of course, like always, Mason Rook looks to have the match won. However, thanks to a distraction from Mr. Maxine Dupree, also known as Cam Hendricks, Cam causes the distraction for Mason, which allows Naraku to hit into the abyss, I believe is his finishing called. Yes. And he ends up becoming your new NXT championship number one contender. So Naraku is going to be moving on to Great American Bash to face Tony D'Angelo for the title. And it
Hey,
seems
guess who's in chat? Guess who's in chat? Guess. It's Nick. Hi, Nick.
Hi, Nick. Welcome, buddy. Thank you for always chiming in. We are just talking about our NXT Championship #1 contenders match and how Naraku, thanks to a distraction from Cam Hendricks, defeats Mason Rook and will be facing Tony D'Angelo at Great American Bash. So lots of pay-per-views happening that particular Sunday. It's going to be nuts. It seems that we're going to be doing Mason Rook and Cam Hendricks for a little bit because I'm pretty sure Mason is not going to take that line down from Cam.
I hope he
Brutalizes him.
does very, very mean things to him and shows him how badly he will body slam him and his dad. Oh, get him! I mean, he almost
Get him,
body slammed the
Mason.
boss.
It's
so,
funny
you know.
because that's fair. Ooh,
Let's
hold
take
on.
this point real
There we go.
quick.
I'm shocked Tony D is still in NXT. To me, it means they have no idea what to do with him. I think
Yes,
they want to give
and-
him
oh,
the
no.
NXT championship. That's true. I also think they want to give him an NXT championship run for a bit and then possibly move him on up. Yeah. Honestly, I thought that Tony D would be in the people that got called up, but then, but they took Soul, Ricky, Trick,
Javon,
Lash,
Joe,
yeah,
Joe
Julia,
Hendry, which they like had him on for like 3 weeks and then poof.
So,
But then
yeah,
again, that's all Logan Paul's fault. We should fire him for it because Logan Paul injured himself and now Joe Hendry's kind of stuck.
He kind of is. He should be fighting Austin Theory. It'd be fantastic. But anywho, yeah, we're probably going to get Mason Rook and Cam Hendricks feuding for a little bit for a couple of weeks. Naraku is moving on to Great American Bash, and we're going to talk about him a little bit later because Naraku was popping up in different segments throughout the show. Moving on from this match, though, we get into some backstage stuff because Tavion and Miles are still like beefing, but like also still kind of homies. And Tavion wants a shot at Miles's championship. And Miles Bourne's like, bet, I'll give you a championship shot. And then, of course, the unfortunately, this conversation was overheard by the Vanity Project folks, in which Jackson Drake says that, no, that's a shame. Tavion shouldn't get this. Jackson Drake should. And so Miles is like, okay, bet. You two can fight it out next week, and the winner will face me at Great American Bash for the title. I'm like, I smell a plot. I think Jackson Drake is probably winning next week, but who knows? This is going to be interesting.
Because that would, it's not nothing against Jackson Drake. Well, it's everything. Hold on, pausing my thought process. You're funny. I like you. Moving on. And it's a good joke there, Nick. But you're trying to throw me off, and I'm not going to let you this time. Not that I don't like Jackson Drake. He's a good wrestler. He plays his character very well. I just want to see our boy win. Like I feel like he's a slump. Like I think that there's going to be some shenanigans in this match, one way or another. I'm going to ignore Nick for like 5 minutes.
Right.
Anywho, I want to see our boy just get some gold around his waist, or just get some traction, get some better looks. Like, he's been on the losing end for a while, and I just don't like it. I want him to crash out, granted, and turn heel. That will be great. But I also want him and Saquon Sugars to have fun.
I feel like Tavion at this point is overdue for something, man. I think he's been here long enough, and I think he's proved himself to be capable. I just wish they let him get a championship opportunity and run with it. I ultimately hope that the end goal for Miles' championship run is him and Tavion, with Tavion beating Miles down the line for the title. Um, but Tavion is always playing second fiddle. I don't think he necessarily needs to turn heel, but I do think that he needs to be pushed towards the championship run in some capacity. So here's hoping that by the end of summer or the end of this year, Tavion will finally be able to become champion, because I think he's fantastic. Anyways, we keep this going though, because we get into our second number one contenders match of the evening, this time for the NXT Women's Championship. Kendall Gray versus Kalani Jordan. Winner will face Lola Vice for the NXT Women's Championship at Great American Bash. Another solid match, man. I think these two have really good chemistry together. Despite my issues with Kalani's character, and also I know some people feel like Kendall is being pushed too fast, which I don't. I kind of see points, but I also don't agree. I think she's picked up on this business very fast and very well, and she's unique. So she is definitely a hot commodity. Um, but again, these two have really fun chemistry together. This was another solid match of throughout the night. Lots of great wrestling this episode, which I was really happy about for NXT this week. Really good stuff. Fantastic. Kendall would end up winning, and so she will be facing Lola Vice at Great American Bash for the NXT Women's Championship. So again, despite my issues with Kendall being pushed a little too fast and Kalani Jordan's character still trying to figure it out, I'm starting to come around to it. I just need a couple of, tuning when it comes to certain aspects of her character. But other than that, it's a very solid match, very good, and I highly recommend people go watch this. This is really good.
This is very good. I enjoyed it a lot. Same with you. Kalani's character is abrasive,
Mhm.
and it is a little grating. I'm not happy with it. I understand what they're trying to do. I'm saying they're trying to put her on a pedestal. Um, I'm just hoping that they tone back the Mean Girls aspect of the character. This was a all in all great match. There was no outside interference. It went good. Um, I'm trying to think what else to say about this that we haven't already said, because I'm liking Kendall. I know that people want, as you said, I have a burp that's just stuck right here.
Ew.
There it goes. That's a little one. Anyway, it's like every time I would get to my crescendo and start to move forward, I go, nope, no. Anywho, I disagree because on that premise, because the thing with Kendall is she's been around for a while. She started out over in Evolve. If I remember right, she started in LFG as well. I keep forgetting who's LFG, who's not, until they say it.
Mm-hmm.
She's been the Evolve champ. She came over to NXT. She vacated the Evolve championship. She's already been a champ. She's pretty much been working really well since coming to NXT, and she's been here for a handful of months, and she's going for that title now. And that makes a good bit of sense. She's just continuing on the train towards a championship, where you can argue with some people like that, like Naraku and Mason Rook, who and Cam Hendricks are right there, who've just been here for maybe like month or two at the most, and
Mm-hmm.
now they're getting championship spots at least, and it's like it kind of makes it scratch your head. Now I won't say these guys don't deserve it, because fucking Mason Rook's amazing, and Naraku, dude, fucking phenomenal, man. That guy fucking works. But it's still a situation of, it's like, okay, you look at how long this person's been with this company, and you look at the accolades they've already gotten. Kendall is great. She definitely deserves this chance. and it also helps with the fact that there was the accidental elbow to the
Hmm.
face
Right.
with Lola. Even though Lola's like, "Hey man, I'm sorry that I wasn't trying to hit you." That's and then there's some contention there. It's like it was funny. I was listening to commentary about that, and Booker's like, "Oh, she shouldn't have apologized. She's a champion. You don't need to be blah blah blah." Well, if you do something by accident, you hit someone that you ain't supposed to, that you weren't even aiming for, it just happens. Yeah, of course you're gonna apologize. You're gonna be a human being about
Hmm.
it. Show some empathy and camaraderie with your fellow wrestler,
Right.
especially if you're pulling for them to fight against. But yeah, this was a great match. I look forward to Great American Bash when I see Kendall and Lola go at it. It's gonna be grand.
Right. And I think to kind of finalize, this segment too, is that I do love Kendall and I think she's fantastic. I'm just hoping as the summer goes on, though, we will expand the women's field a little bit because right now it's Kendall, Kalani, and Lola right now. We just finished with Izzy because Izzy is now being a part of the speed tournament. Um, Coming up here soon. But I would like to see some of the other girls that we have just moved on over from Evolve. Like I want to see more of Layla Diggs. Where is Callie Armstrong? Our first and longest reigning Evolve Women's Champion. Like, I know she just got there, but I'm like, I wanna see more from Callie. Um, Thea Hale should be back on my television sometime soon. Like, I don't know what's going on there. I just want the women's field to be expanded, and hopefully, when we get to our main event, now that we have a new champion, hopefully that will give some of the other women a chance to go up against our new champ and NXT Women's North American champion and kind of get more stories going on. But fantastic match. We move on from this though because we get into part two of the Mr. NXT pageant. This is the talent portion in which Shiloh Hill transcends and takes the final form and just knocks it out of the park. Tristan Angels is just looking like Boo Boo the Fool over here. And
Like he is.
Shiloh Hill wins round two, the talent portion. And Shiloh, you are a talented man. That was great
He's
stuff.
phenomenal to say the least. This man, I'm impressed. Like fully impressed by everything this guy's doing. Um, just kudos. Bring it on. Keep doing.
100%. So let's keep this rolling though, because we get into a backstage segment in which Tony D'Angelo is interviewed about Naraku being the one to face him at Great American Bash. Tony D'Angelo don't care who it is. He gonna win and retain the championship. Naraku comes on over, just gives Tony D'Angelo a little parting gift, bows and leaves. And so I'm like, ooh, we playing games now. And Naraku has called a meeting with Tony D'Angelo next week in the ring. So we're going to see how this goes. Very interesting stuff. But again, because Naraku is the number one contender, it's got, we're going to talk about it a little bit, but it's got some other people feeling some sort of way. But right now, we talk about our match between Dion Lennox and Jasper Troy. Again, Dion gets the win here against Jasper. This match was made after Dark State jumped Jasper and destroyed Mr. Stone's office and used his office furniture to attack and brutalize and bury Jasper in the rubble. And so this match happened. Now, Dion does end up getting the win here, but during the match, though, especially afterwards, too, we get a pre-tape video of Saquon, causing a little bit of a stir and a distraction. And at the end of the match, as Dion is celebrating, the video starts to like it. At first, I thought it was a production issue, but then they got me because it's like it looped at certain points, and Dion's like, "What is happening?" And he was distracted long enough for Saquon to jump the barricade, attack Osiris with the bat, and then jump back into the crowd as Dion is chasing him out. Saquon is a vigilante, y'all, and I'm here for Saquon Sugars.
This was a good. There we go. This was really good. God damn it! Now I got the hiccups.
Hold your breath
All right.
until you can't.
All right.
So
Anyway, the match was actually good. I actually enjoyed the match itself. It showed off. Oh God, I forgot his name already. He's
Jasper, Dion.
Not yeah, Jasper Troy. Jasper Troy. Sorry, my brain is.
Babyface Jasper is kind of cool, and I'm here for a kind of babyface Jasper.
I want him and what's his name? We'll see him later on in the episode. Go at it. Like,
Again? Keanu?
yeah. Did they already fight?
Yeah, they fought. Remember when
No, I
Keanu
don't.
interrupted Booker T's hometown celebration and we got that whole match? I wouldn't mind them squaring up again because I thought that was a really good match between those two.
I think those two are they're phenomenal athletes. They're phenomenal physiques. Two big dudes, just, as
Of course, and then the added bonus to be like, yes, Black Excellence, let's go.
of course, fucking amazing guys, talented athletes, good with their characters, good with their character development. They're very technical, very knowledgeable, and I'm enjoying everything that they're doing in the ring, and I want them to continue to do better, and I hope they get more chances. Anyway, moving forward.
But yeah, Saquon the Vigilante, y'all. I'm here for it. So after this, though, Ms. Parker don't take no shit because she jumped Natty at the dungeon and attacked her and challenges Natty to a match next week. And Natty's like, okay, girl, I'm going to give this to you, but be prepared for what you asked for. But yeah, Ms. Jada Parker ambushed and jumped Natty in the dungeon, which was insane to watch. So this is going to be an interesting match tomorrow on next week. So that's going to be fun. So after this little video, though, we do get into our final segment of the Mr. NXT pageant, in which Shiloh and Tristan Angels give their part 3, which is the final speeches, and then the voting happens. And your 2026 Mr. NXT pageant winner is Shiloh Hill. Shiloh gets a really neat sash. Tristan Angels is a sore loser and attacks Shiloh and takes it. So it seems this is the official kickoff to a Tristan Angels Shiloh Hill in-ring feud, which I'm here for.
It's great because, and as the most important thing was pointed out, Tristan Angels is toxic. As said by Kid, I love that. That was my favorite part. I was waiting for it to happen. I was like, come on, give me the toxic. Give it to me. I want it.
Toxic.
Like,
great stuff. But yeah, Shiloh is your 2026 Mr. NXT pageant winner. But for me, this also going to set up a proper in-ring feud between the two, which is going to be fun. And I see something happening between these two for a Great American Bash. So some good times are ahead for sure. Alrighty, Kilts, let's get this into it. Keanu Carver was not happy about all these guys jumping the line for an NXT championship shot. Naraku and Keanu Carver face off a little bit. Keanu Carver tells Mr. Stone what's next for him, and Stone tells Keanu that he will give him an answer next week. So we're going to find out what's in store for Keanu Carver next week. And I'm like, all right, I see you, Keanu. And I'm like, you know what? Not going to lie. You have a little bit of a point too. I was just like, all the new guys came in and just started to jump in the line, so to speak. Now, granted that like kayfabe wise, these are big international established stars across the seas already. And Keanu, we're just starting out, in wrestling wise, because you are athlete turned wrestler. But I see your point, but I'm excited to see what Stone has for Keanu next week, man. I'm not gonna lie.
It's gonna be very interesting. As you said, okay, so I didn't like Keanu's character initially, but they are fine tuning it and they are developing it better.
I truly think what really turned it around for me was that like interview that he did with the same
Yes.
person who did the OTM interview a couple weeks back.
Yeah, because she's
that made
supposed to be
me
doing
like.
all of them.
That's what made me really like Keanu. I'm like, all right, Keanu, you won me over with that one.
He softened the edges a little with still having the sharpness, and he tried to personalize it a little bit more. He's like, and it's not just angry black men. It's I'm angry. I want my shot. Give it to me, or I'm going to take it. And it's a lot. It's a lot less um, hostile.
He's willing to, he is here to put in the work, and he wants what's his by putting in the work. And at the same time, he's like, oh, these people gonna jump ahead of me and they haven't been putting in the work. Nah, that don't sit right. Or they barely just got here. They haven't done too much of the work yet. So why are they getting shots? But again, I'm hoping whatever Stone has for Keanu is something of substance, because I do want to see Keanu start to be elevated and given something proper to sink his teeth into. Because he's had some pretty good stuff here and there in terms of short term, but I'm looking for a little bit of a long term summer feud, at least for Keanu, or a program that involves him. So Stone, don't mess this up. We're gonna see how this turns out next week. Just to let y'all know, next week's card is going to be very fun, in my personal opinion. Of course, we have the face-to-face between Tony D'Angelo and Naraku. We have a number one contendership match for the NXT North American Championship. Jackson Drake versus Tavion Heights. Winner will go face Miles at Great American Bash. We also begin the Women's Speed Championship tournament to see how that goes and who's going to be the next opponent for Ren Sinclair. And then we're also getting Natty versus Miss Jada Parker in NXT next week. I was like, yes, I'm here for this.
I'm here for it too, because it gives Natty some time on the screen, because she's practically just been doing like LFG and behind the scenes stuff. She's not really like, for at least from what I can tell.
She hasn't been utilized on main roster like for a while now, and I'm like, I don't understand why. Natty, I think, is great, but I'm happy to see her here in NXT, and I think her and Jada are gonna have a good match next week.
Oh, I think it'll be fabulous. I'm really excited.
And if this turns into a partnership between Natty and Jada, where Natty mentors Jada, that would be even better. Give her that on-screen like characters killer's edge, if you will. So next week is going to be a lot of fun as we get inch ever so closely to Great American Bash. But right now, let's get into the main event of NXT this week, the NXT Women's North American Championship match. Challenger Zarya versus champion Tatum Paxley in her cosplay of Rouge the Bat from the Sonic the Hedgehog franchise. And it was beautiful and cutesy and adorable. My God, this is also another
amazing.
Yeah, my God, this was another great match between these
This was just fucking bell to bell. Fucking Tatum did a freaking coast to coast.
Shoot, she continues to impress me with how much new stuff she's able to pull out of her bag. And also, Zarya, girl, we love you. I love you, Zarya. You are also fantastic. Big fan over here. Man, this was some great stuff. And after an F5 on the outside to a spear and an F5 in the ring, your winner and new Women's North American champion, Zarya. Zarya about to go destroy this locker room, and I'm here for it.
I am as well. I'm excited for it. I look forward to what's going to happen. Rumor is that now that she's lost the American title, they're bringing Tatum up to main roster.
Possibly.
Which
The other option is that she's going to take some time off and then come back, which either option I am okay with, because I think Tatum has been on everywhere, NXT television, social media stuff. Like, homegirl has done a lot.
She is amazing. I love every moment. I get to hang out. Not hang out, but like I get to see her in action, doing stuff, having a good time. It's phenomenal. Mm-hmm. I'm loving every second of it, and I'm looking forward to her future.
100%, and I'm looking forward to seeing how Zarya's championship run goes, because she's gonna dominate and decimate, and I'm here for it. It's gonna be good. Anyways, that is our NXT show for the week. This was a really good in-ring episode, so I highly recommend all the matches. And this was just a fun episode of NXT, and I'm excited to see what next week brings. But before we sign off for the evening, we do have a rest of the week to go. We got 3 more shows happening this week. First, tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, Benny and I will be here to talk about some Mystery Wrestling 26, which involves a Sasquatch in a cage match. We have the Invisible and Visible Man taking on Stu Grayson and the No Nonsense crew. And Junior Benito, you could have won the match, but you literally had to clack them cheeks. See what we mean tomorrow evening. Uh, I will explain to you. It is not
No,
a
no,
definitive.
no. Do not explain. This is gonna have to make me go back and watch because as I love mystery because they do stupid shit like this. It is phenomenal. And I'm like, I can't. I'm gonna if I have time either today, tomorrow, or the rest of my week. I'm going to watch so that way I can get caught
Oh,
up on
please
that.
do. I sent the link in the Mystery Wrestling text thread, so it's like there for you to watch at your given leisure, my liege. But that is going to be the first thing that's tomorrow evening, and then at 7:30 p.m. Pacific, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, I will be here once again to rock out another solo progress wrestling review, and I will be talking chapter 195, Wonder Brawl 2, in which we saw lots of good matches, women killing it, men killing it, Simon Miller having a great match as well, and also new tag team champions. So I'm excited to talk about that. And then Friday, we wrap up the week with our TNA post show. So it's going to be a fun time heading into the weekend. But that is going to be it for us here tonight at NXT Losos. But I will be back later on in about an hour or two to talk some CMLL, and we're doing a double feature. So we're going to have a good time. But from all of us here at BC Wrestle Pod to you at home, remember, take care of yourself, love one another, stay iconic, and more importantly than anything, you always deserve to finish your story. We'll catch you later tonight for some CMLL action. But until then, sayonara, adios, and until next time, peace.